G'day everyone, Brian here. Romans chapter 12 is a great chapter of scripture that I come back to again and again. It deals with our body, it deals with our mind, and it deals with our practice, how we live as Christian people. So in chapter 1 yesterday, we looked at offering our bodies as living sacrifices to the glory of God. And here we offer ourselves to God. In verse 2, we find a comparison with wanting to willingly give ourselves to God with the danger of actually being conformed to the world, the age, the spirit of the age. J.B. Phillips, I think it was, who said, don't let the world squeeze you into its mold. And that's really good and sound advice. Do not be conformed to this world. Let me get the Bible so I get it absolutely right. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform. There's a big comparison there with the instruction to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice to God. Here, do not. Do not conform to the world. That's not specific to Romans 12. If you read the Old Testament, you'll see the people of Israel often told, do not be like them. Do not follow their gods. Do not follow their ways. And as you read through the Old Testament, you'll see that the problems for Israel began when they began to follow the ways of those who did not belong to their God. So do not conform any longer to this world, to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Many of us would love to be transformed. We love the thought of Spider-Man, of being able to transform into something that you can climb walls, or even to be the Incredible Hulk and being able to transform into a giant. Whether you want to be green and violent's another question, but to be that kind of a transformation that takes place there is a wonderful thing. And here is to be transformed in God's likeness. And how is this done? By the renewing of your mind. So where verse 1 speaks about the body, verse 2 speaks about the mind and the renewing of the mind. And what does that lead us to? That leads us to understanding the will of God. God's good, pleasing, and perfect will. Maybe you've wondered, how can I discern the will of God for my life? Well, here's a good place to start. Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to discern what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. And as you do that, as you offer yourself, as you renew your mind, as you seek God's will, the more you'll find it. So to be renewed, that renewing of mind is a constant renewing of your mind. And the more you do God's will, the easier it will be to find God's will. But Paul doesn't leave us to just float out there and work it out. He gives us the rest of Romans 12 and onwards to help us understand what God's will is. And we'll come to that through the rest of the week. Have a great day today. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.